Thank you for watching Simply Lavish at Home. I'm Faisha, owner of Simply Lavish Event Planning, and I'm going to take you through all the simple things that you could do to upgrade the style of your at-home entertaining. We're in the throes of the holiday season. People are celebrating Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's Eve are right around the corner. And no celebration will be complete without a drink to toast to the joyous celebrations. So today is going to be all about building your bar and getting all those tools together to entertain your guests. Today is all about the drink, and I'm going to talk about building your bar. Obviously, I don't mean building the actual structure in your home, but gathering up all those tools that you'll need to have an effective bar presentation for your friends and family. A lot of the things that you probably already have on hand are going to be discussed today, so you won't have to go far. But I always recommend, if you're going to be entertaining a lot, it's nice to have things that are exclusively for the purposes of entertaining, so you're not searching the house for things when you decide to have company. One of the first little tools I'm going to talk about is this simple bar kit. It comes in 4 pieces, including the stand, one of which is a strainer that you'll need if you're straining off ice or rinds or anything from your drink that you just put over the glass and you're able to strain. It also comes with these tongs used for ice or garnish like cherries, lemon slices, orange slices, and whatnot. And most important out of this thing is the jigger. A jigger is essentially a measuring cup, which has 1.5 ounces. The smaller side measures an ounce. And this is just a convenient way to measure so you can consistently make good drinks across the board. Also, you will need your bottle opener. This one also has a can opener top in case you're using any juices out of a can or evaporated milk for any of your drinks. You have that readily available. I also pick up a few extra tongs in case you have more than one kind of garnish. You can have these. I use these all over and over. They come from the dollar store. I think maybe 3 or 4 in a package for $1. I use them until they break and then I get a new pair. Maybe a bottle stopper if you have any leftover wine. Hopefully not, but you never know. So you have your bottle stopper and a corkscrew. It's very important for your wine drinkers. Now you have those other corkscrews that you have to manually screw it into the cork and then using the levers to pull it out. And those usually cost about $4 or $5. But if you have a few extra bucks, I highly recommend one of these. Sometimes you'll see them referred to as a rapid style, but it's really easy to use. All you do is pull your lever here, wrap it around the top of your bottle, plunge down, plunge out, and pow, the cork is out. Really easy. You almost never break the cork, and when you pull it back down, the cork falls right off the corkscrew. I also have in my collection a muddler. Now this kind of depends on what you're going to be serving. Anything that requires herbs or anything for the drink, for example, a mojito, in which they take the muddler and crush the mint so it releases all the flavorful oils from those. So you just want to have this on hand in case you decide to make one. I also like to have a sharp knife and a cutting board. I use this cutting board only for bar purposes. So I'll cut up lemons and oranges, any spices or herbs necessary. I only use it on this cutting board. And we have your ice buckets. This one is very pretty. It's double insulated and has a lid, so it keeps the ice for a very long time, and you can just set it out and have people come at your leisure. And then I also have this one. It's just very pretty. It's heavy and glass, so the heaviness of this actually helps to insulate the ice a little bit, so it doesn't melt quite as quickly, but obviously it won't last quite as long as the one that's double insulated and has a lid, but it's very pretty. Also, don't forget your scoop for your ice. And lastly, your cocktail shaker. You can make any variety of shaken drinks in here. This one, most of them are actually metal to conduct the cold air from the ice. It has a large vessel, so if you make more than one drink at a time, you can do that. The top comes off, and here's a convenient strainer, so you can pour right from the carafe into your drink and leave the ice behind. And obviously you want to cover that so when you're shaking, you don't spill. So just a few items that are really easy to find, very inexpensive, but necessary to have a proper bar. But now we're going to talk about the fun stuff. I do my fair share of entertaining, and I have a lot of liquor to show for it. This probably only tells half of the story. But I personally like to be able to accommodate a variety of tastes at pretty much a moment's notice, so I keep myself well stocked. But that is by no means a cheap proposition. Gathering up all this liquor costs a little bit of money. So this is where knowing your guest taste really comes in handy. If you know you guys are a group of avid beer drinkers, I would say stock up on your beers. Having a couple varieties, imported and domestic, is a good idea to have on hand for them. If you guys are wine drinkers, having a good red and a white obviously is best for them. If you guys are the cocktail sort, then you want to go with a variety of spirits and mixers. If you have friends like mine who like a little bit of everything, you get a little bit of everything. You may even have some people move into more cocktails where normally they would drink beer. It's whatever. You want to make sure you can do whatever. So with all these spirits, it can get a little overwhelming on trying to decide what to do. The way to combat that is by choosing a signature drink. It could be anything that you like. You can do some research online and find any drink that will fit your theme, maybe a specific color scheme even, to be able to narrow down your search to just those ingredients. And then every time you have a new event, you can pick a new signature drink. And before long, you have established a well-stocked bar with any variety of spirits. If you want to just keep it simple and have maybe one or two, maybe say a vodka or a brandy or a whiskey, and then just have some mix-ins, that's perfectly fine too. You'll see that I've brought out my carafes, which I talked about last time, to save a little bit of money, because I've always noticed that if I do individual bottles of like soda, like which I have in this bottle, decanting it into a nice bottle like this saves a little bit of money because I can buy the 2 liters instead of individual bottles or individual cans. And it just looks that much nicer on the table. If you know that you're partial to rum, maybe do a few things with rum. But either way, really know what your guests want in order to make the best presentation possible and really have a good time. Now we're on to my favorite part, and that's serveware and presentation. A lot of the stuff I've already talked about is pretty self-explanatory, not really science to it. What takes parties over the top and presentation over the top is what you serve these things in. So rather than a plastic glass, breaking out your glassware is going to take your party into just a slight bit of more sophistication. So with that, I don't neglect my beer drinkers. While a bottle is fine to drink out of, they look perfectly fine, I like to provide Pilsners. These I chose for their shape. I really like the shape of them. They store pretty easily because they're small. They don't have a handle like a beer stein might, which if you prefer that you could use those as well. But if you're lucky enough to have a kegerator at home, it's good to have some nice glasses to be able to serve beer in. Likewise for my wine drinkers, I actually sometimes use a multi-purpose wine glass. This might actually technically be a white wine glass, not particularly sure, but I use them for both red and white, and it looks good. You also have your old-fashioned glasses. If you're serving, maybe somebody wants a whiskey on the rocks, a rum and coke, they will typically be served in an old-fashioned glass. A relatively small glass holds probably just about 8 ounces if you fill it to the rim, and it's just good to have on hand. Also tumblers. These are probably pretty big for cocktails, so you would get a smaller size, but these are good for non-alcoholic drinks. You do not want to forget your designated drivers when having a celebration. And things like Long Island iced teas, Sex on the Beach, those taller drinks that you'll see served into a tumbler, also called a cooler. With New Year's Eve fast approaching, you just cannot forget to have champagne flutes. It's the nice, sophisticated way to toast in the new year with a beautiful champagne flute. And last but not least is the traditional cocktail glass. Any number of martinis or cocktails could be served in here, and just makes a nice presentation. You can see this table is pretty much crowded. You wouldn't have quite so many, but just for demonstration purposes, I put them out. You'd want to narrow it down to maybe 3 at tops on one table, and this is a pretty short table. Also, you don't want to forget your garnish. So maraschino cherries are good to have on hand. Olives, that's if you're making martinis, and an orange, some kind of citrus, have that on hand as well. And of course, grenadine. Cannot forget your grenadine. It's good for non-alcoholic drinks. If you want to have a mocktail for people who are driving or don't want to drink alcohol, you don't want to forget them in your celebrations. You want to have them feel included as well. Now, many people ask me why not just serve in plastic. Well, plastic is fine, and I tend to use that for more informal occasions, maybe a barbecue, something like that. When I'm having a party for a celebration, a Christmas, maybe a birthday, New Year's Eve, I like to break out the glass. And really in the long run, you end up saving money because plastic glasses, or decent ones, really aren't inexpensive. So by the time you've purchased them over party, you will have spent probably more than you would just having had spent on a few of these. Like for example, these, $1 a piece. I have many dozens of these. By the time I would have bought martini glasses or cocktail glasses that come maybe 8 in a pack for $10, I've paid for these many times over. And then when you set them out and have people come in and fixing their drinks, it just looks that much better. I didn't do anything really spectacular. Just a nice tablecloth on a folding table, and you just line them up in a nice orderly fashion, and it takes the style up on your party just that much. I've talked a little bit about the signature drink, so I didn't want to conclude without demonstrating at least one. So for today, I decided on a chocolate martini, mostly because I had all the stuff already at hand. So this basic recipe consists of chocolate liqueur, right into the shaker, creme de cacao, vodka. Now this is a good drink that you can personalize. If you didn't want to use straight vodka, sometimes for a little extra flavor, you can use vanilla. Black cherry vodka would probably make it taste like a cherry cordial. If you prefer mint, maybe some creme de menthe or some mint schnapps will taste good in here, maybe like a peppermint patty or some butterscotch schnapps. It's really up to you. This also takes a couple of shots of half and half. Now this drink is a good one that you can pre-mix all of these things because everything is flat, and put it in a pitcher like this. Set it out, have a measuring cup or some smaller cup that individual drinks can be poured in, so your guests can go ahead and measure out their own amount, put it in the shaker, and have a good time. Signature drinks are a good way to get the guests involved because they really do enjoy being able to shake up their own drinks. Everybody feels like they're Tom Cruise from Cocktail when they have a shaker in their hand. If your signature drink happens to have carbonation, you can pre-mix all of the flat drinks, all of the flat mixes, and have instructions on how to top it off with the soda or whatever carbonated drink that goes into it. So I'm just gonna make sure this lid is on tight and shake it up. You can already start to feel it getting cold inside. So a few good shakes. And then I have some chocolate syrup. And I'm just gonna pour over the side of the glass some chocolate syrup. And your drink goes right in. And that's your basic chocolate martini. It also would look nice to rim this maybe with some cocoa powder, or opt for rimming the glass with the chocolate syrup. So have that out for your guests and enjoy. Thank you for watching. I hope you found today's video informative and helpful. And most importantly, I want to wish you and yours happy holidays, and here's to a prosperous New Year's. As always, if you're just too busy to plan, check out my website, www.simplylavishAtHome. You can also like my Facebook page, Simply Lavish Event Planning. and follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. I am going to go ahead and enjoy this drink. Here's to living simply lavishly. Cheers.